Okay, we're back again with the 438th Knowledge Seekers Workshop here on Thursday, June 23rd, 2022. Mr. Kesh, are you ready to begin this second part of the session?
Yes, I'm ready to go.
Okay, and once again, I remind our attendees you can put up your virtual hand and then we can acknowledge you and allow your microphone to open. Okay, we do have some questions here in the Q&A from Cristiano, actually from Alexandra, but through Cristiano from the Brazilian folks. Two questions, or at least two questions. First question, at the moment the person is there in space on the moon, do they have conscious and free thought of their own volition, or is it being guided all the time? How is the thinking in this case?
Can you repeat that?
At the moment the person is out there in space or on the moon, do they have conscious and free thought of their own volition, or is it being guided all the time? How is the thinking in this case?
I don't understand. You're free. You're the same as everything else. They tell us what they do. We hear the only thing I do with them, because you got to understand why we go in these cases and tell them, because they get so involved in the process. There are a lot of people, when they walk into the flight zone, it's overwhelming. It's very simple, but you waited a long time to meet your lover, and the excitement of time to meet overwhelms. A mother waits for years for the child to come back, and then knowing the date is going to come back, it just gets so much crazy, cleaning everything, doing everything else. A lot of people I see going into this zone are going through that position. Or when they get in, they get numb. They don't know what they want to do. They don't know where they're going to go. And then we see them, we had people yesterday. They sit on the chair 1, 2, 3 within 5 minutes. I tell them, a bunch of, I talk about taking your time. These guys, within 5 minutes, they're sitting in the unit. Excuse me. Do you go to the party to say, get ready in 5 minutes and go in? I've never seen a woman having makeups and everything ready, well done, in 5 minutes. How come you ladies are in the machine before when I go out and come back in within 5 minutes? You're on chair 1. Oh, we have limited time. So the only time is you, when you're ready. And they get overwhelmed. And they get in the tangle of fields and energies, the way the soul takes new dimension. They all talk about the expansion of the field. They don't want to call it the soul, because then Christ knows what's going to happen now. The soul is up. And they all talk about this expansion of the field and say, isn't that you come here to see the expansion of your soul? Yes, but it's the field. I feel like inside it is taken over me. And then they get so entangled with this that we have two systems built on each one system, where we can tell when the people will go into the position we want to. And you hear a noise going bzzz, because we concentrate the fields into the center of the system, which means the energies stay in. We don't let you expand it. And in that point, we ask you to take your flight, because you forget you came here to take flight. And some of them tell us straight away, I haven't come here to fly, I've come here to do something else. No problem. But I'll tell you something, I want you to fly, you fly. And most of them go the way they want, because the soul decides. And we just remind them, you come here to fly. Would you like to be a captain? Would you like to tell this video? And they remembered who they've taken, as I said before, and sometimes the passengers joined them. Very interesting situation happened yesterday. We had a couple, Austrians. You will see them, they'll bring it out, they'll tell you. It was a pleasure to have all Austrian team in there. It's a different mentality because we had the Italians with the Italians is the behavior. You've seen Stefania, you know the Italians. We had with the Germans, all this. This group of Austrians was gorgeous to be with them. We had a couple. We left it to them to do whatever they like because the room was free for them to do what they like. And the husband went behind the wife. We interviewed them separately and then bring them together. And she said she felt the warmth on her back as her husband was there. And the husband, when he came out, says, I could see a glow. I was there to like protect. And how the two joined up. It shows how close they are really in life in the soul level. We get couples come in because we try this. We don't say anything. But it was nice to see the first, what I call the twin love. It wasn't just outside the physicality. Inside, they had that feeling and connection. They could feel each other. And we had another case of two ladies who were in love with each other as a couple. And the same feeling came out. And it's beautiful to see love has no gender. It's beautiful to see that we are witnessing a change. So we interfere sometimes, tell them, you came here to take your flight. Ooh, you don't want to handle the ones, they say, I haven't come here to fly, I have other things to do. We had that with Stefania. She says, I haven't come here to fly, I've come here to bring peace. I'm going to do whatever. And we have a system built in. We see if they're actually interfering, if they're taking from the system what they're giving. And we bring the two systems into balance. We hear it when they come into balance. We don't tell you what to do, but we inform the physicality. You brought the soul here, we would like the soul to do this, and then you see how they do it. And especially when we take them, you're the captain. It's a beautiful experience. It's a pleasure to be there. Yesterday or the day before, I had a beautiful feeling being in the UNO Center. And that was, those of you who've been close to me, to work I've done in developing the technology over years to make it possible for you to understand. I was gifted with the beautiful pleasure by the Iranian government officials some years ago, the special tables, stainless steel, that does not take any magnet. And many nights, many times, I used to run the reactor, but I was working so much, nighttime, whatever, I used to fall asleep on the tables in the lab. It was nobody else, just me. And you wake up and you see the system is doing what you set it up for, and it's a pleasure to see, you know, it was nice, maybe nap half an hour, 10 minutes, whatever. And many times I woke up feeling of just falling off the bench, off the table, because you get so exhausted that you don't feel anymore. And it gives you a pleasure to see what you work for, what you fell asleep on the table, and all that worth doing. And I get that feeling in the lab, in the UNO Center. So much hard work, so much persecution has paid off. When it's like a lab, people come in, but this time you don't change a gas, you don't change a rotation. is the souls which change and come out. It's a physicality which confirms you've done correct and it needs to be done this or that. As I said, when I went to Iran, by the Ayatollah Khamenei of Iran or Ahmadinejad, I was given a hidden team in the background, which was everything done and brought in when we needed it. But there was no line of communication to expand and do things. In UNO Center now, we have a different structure, as I said. I see what it is, the changes needs to be done. We have a beautiful team with Klaus sitting and immediately implementing changes to be done. And we have a team back in the factory that devoted to see this thing done, and it gets done and it comes back in within a few days. It took Iranians 7 days to give me a reactor. It takes Keshe Foundation team 3 days to deliver a reactor. We become that better than the Iranians. And we see the change. Today, as we speak, I'm sure the team is in the UNO Center implementing the new changes we've seen we want for next week to be in position. It is an amazing feeling to see the birth of a new technology, the birth of new science, and the birth of every man's wish. Whatever has been promised in Torah, in Bible, in Quran, and all the holy books is delivered. It's for man to understand it. And there is a team there who just makes it possible. And every day in, every day out has been there to make it possible. The only sorrow or a shame is that we have to go through all this to get to where we are, where we could have been there ages ago. I called to myself the past few weeks, I call this room the room of Fabio. Any other question?
Okay, we have a further question from Alexandra. You have already said that if it happens that the person strays into space beyond the limit, you bring that person back. What could happen if the person wants to stay there? Is he in danger of losing his physicality? What problems might we face in this case?
We'll let you know when it happens. Just wait for it. And if it happens.
Okay. Tanya from Brazil says, when purchasing the technology for the phone, how long do I have access?
You mean the mobile system?
Yeah, I think that's what they mean. So one
to come from Brazil to Lens cost you $3,000. Yeah, it cost you $3,000. We had the first Brazilian yesterday, actually, in the coming in. She came in, she went through the system. I offered her for a second time. She didn't want to go in. She heard how much the Austrian had to go back in. But it's one structure. We tell you when we start this process in November and December. We're hoping to be ready by that time. The exhibition center is closed from 1st of August to the 15th of August for annual holidays. Notification addition. Our team had done a lot of work. We need to step down. If you're planning to come buying tickets or whatever, do not do for the period of the 1st to the 15th of August. There'll be nobody there. You come behind the closed doors. The factory is closed. The research center is all closed because our team need a rest. They work beyond limits. And August is the usual annual holiday time in Western Europe. So the 2 weeks after August, 1st of August, 2nd week of August, from 1st to 15th of August, cash foundation doors are closed. If you're booked, as we know, we have one case now with the Brazilian couple paid by the Brazilian community to come in. They arrive on the 2nd of August. Please make sure, we had to make a special arrangement for these two to come in. But please do not book for the August. And we try to finish everything by September because we need to bring new systems in. Unless we see an extension needed, we will close. We're getting more or less fully booked for all the days we have. Because it's not just who you come in, we ask for a number of people to come in for repetition of the what I call enhancement center, especially medical people. We request some of them to come in because they have to understand to be able to take the situation further. Any other question?
We have a question from Antonio. Sukesh, my question is on transmutation. Is transmutation a bit like beam me up, Scotty? And once we have entered the universal flight unit, will this be a normal ability for us to travel at will?
Yes. You'll be able to do once you learn to walk, do you need somebody to hold your hand? I think I can answer you that way. It's the best way I can answer you. Once you make your link, is there. Once you establish the whole thing, it'll be very easy for you to do. Any other question?
Lissy says, I would like to know or understand how to create the star formation between humans with family members. Thank you very much.
Can you repeat that question?
She says, I would like to know or understand how to create the star formation between humans with family members.
Very easy. First of all, come in peace with all the humans that you establish the connection. This is the secret behind it. You can't drag your son to stand there because I need your soul, and your wife to stand there because I need your soul to make something. Let them ask. They want to be part of this star formation, and then you see it. You feel it. We went through this very nearly with Annie in Canada years ago. And it fell apart because different views came into it. Man needs to learn a lot of things. This is just the opening of it. I was talking to one of the knowledge seekers. You will now even have to learn how to make love in the dimension of the soul. That would be fantastic to see you out learning it. It'll be the most amazing way where you start creating children of the man in the dimension of the soul. It'll be amazing to see how you fall in love in the dimension of the soul with the citizen of the universe. As I said yesterday, as the girl was talking, she was so overwhelmed with these froggy shaped things with the whatever she had with her, that what happened if we feel in the dimension of giving to one, what we call falling in love? Would you bring a frog home to your mom and says, I'm in love with this one? Would it have the shape of a frog when it lands here? Or you fall in love with the soul? The physicality here might be black, white, you don't care because your soul. There's a lot to come yet. You got a lot to learn. Any other
Question from Nikolai.
I'll tell you something before you go. Yesterday when the girl was telling us about the frog, I said, did you kiss it? It says, yes. I said, did it become a prince? It was interesting, the response. But yes, you will fall in love with frogs. But she was already in love with the frog anyway. You will hear it in the testimonials, most probably. Next question.
Better check the attendee list and see if she brought an extra passenger back.
We are building the system. I think it'll be ready by next few weeks because it's very delicate how to build it. That we can come back to complete the transmutation. Transmutation, it's not difficult, but it's a very precise job. And we would like to start with the stones and hardware things, and then come down to what do you call it, other matters. Any other question? Carry on.
Yes.
Don't forget we finished at 11:30 today.
Yes. Nikolai says, you have asked for the soul of Tesla to come to the system in Linz. I wish to bring my experience with Tesla and the experience I had with his soul a number of years ago. Do you expect many people to carry aspects of Nikola Tesla to the unit, or is this one soul?
Was Tesla a hermit and locked himself up in a room from the birth, so no one? So you cannot be the only one. And secondly, once you are in that state, you belong to the whole of the universe. It's not exclusivity. It's not anymore mine. We had Italians, two of them with a pope. You heard it yesterday, maybe. We had a person with Putin. Putin was only interested to speak about his family and nothing else. And we're waiting to see how things comes. Because once you establish these lines are established, you will see what you can do with it, how you can turn it. I have invited Ayatollah Khamenei of Iran to Linz. He's never traveled beyond the borders of Iran since he's taken position. And if he doesn't come physically, we bring his soul. It's very easy. He will understand how easy it is. And then when we send it back, I wonder how he feels and what will the changes he bring to the Islamic world. What will happen with the Pope? And what will happen with President Biden? It's your job. Take their hand and drag them in. And let them face the facts and reality of the universal existence. Any other question?
I'm waiting for some attendees to put a hand up, but it's not forthcoming yet. And we've answered. Pardon me?
All my questions. That's good. So I think people now see the fact, they see the reality, they see what is on the table. It's not anymore, does it work, is it there? And it's not one or two. They're coming 10 a day, sometimes 12 or 15 a day. And it is very interesting how each one comes with their own, what do you call, individual wishes. The gentleman sitting right at the front, he is a scientist, and at the beginning, he was in what I call in the room for about 4 or 5 hours, and he changed when he came out in the way he was talking and the way he's seeing the changes as a scientist. And it touches you because you cannot escape it. It's not anymore goggle on the eye or you hold something. It's you who interact. You have confirmed the confirmation of your own existence with the others with you. And it's a pleasure to see it. And I'm sure the hotels of Linz are doing a beautiful job with the number of knowledge seekers coming in. These guys are not coming overnight. They're staying 3-4 days to go back. And they come back the next day and they have to just to be around the center. We saw this with Nino. People used to come and stand outside Nino from Korea, from China, from all over the world. Or we were in a session with other people, they just come and sit for hours on end. We came all the way to be here. And we started seeing that with Linz. Don't make it a temple. Make it a temple of knowledge, where you come and you take the knowledge back to your cities and your people. Any other questions? If you don't have, I think the whole Education Foundation now is facing a reality of facts, and they have to handle it with themselves. Make your way in from all over the world. We need it to complete it.
Well, we have a hand up here, Mr. Keshe, from Mark. Mark, would you like to go ahead, please?
Sure. I have a couple of soft questions for Mr. Keshe. Thank you, Mr. Keshe.
Excuse me, who are you, Mr. Mark? From which country? Where are you from? We don't know you.
From the United States, from New England.
I know you, but you got to say that yeah, it's a typical. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's our
Mark
best.
does all the Sunday American teachings. He is the man behind it. Thank you very much for all your work, Mark.
Thank you for sharing all the knowledge of the universe. I wish I could absorb more, and it looks like going through Linz, we can start to absorb more. My question is the center still open for tours to the general public? That's the
yes.
first.
Yes, we do the two simultaneously. People are not allowed to come down where the enhancement units are, but generally upstairs, yes.
Well, that was the part of my next question, which you said people used to come to Italy just to be there and to observe. Would you consider creating an observation deck, almost like when you go to an amusement
We
park?
have an observation deck when you come in. You are on a big deck
Okay.
up and you look down. The construction is that way. The only
Oh.
thing you don't see, you can't see inside the flight zone. I want to
Okay.
call it the to-do zone because you don't take a flight, you're going to do it. It'll be nice. I call it a Fabio to-do center. And you get things done. You go to places. It used to be a shopping center. You have a big entrance, and when you come in, you have two escalators which go down, and you have like a public gallery on the top to see down. The exhibition is set on the top, and the test center, everything is below. We have moved, as you see, this sofa is part of the studio. It's been brought out because now the studio has become a flight center, or to-do center, I should call it. And there is no way we can allow people to come down anymore. But from the top, you can see the two enhancement units in the back, the vertical unit, the horizontal units. They're all there to see, but we don't allow any more people to come down. On the top deck, you have everything to do with the technology and science. And it takes place sometimes when we are running these tests. The sessions are going up with Mario upstairs. From next couple of weeks, Herbert will join us to extend the exhibition. And we don't allow no one downstairs anymore. Doesn't matter you come, we are there or not, no one allowed. And when you come, till it's not your time to go into the session, everybody's kept upstairs. And so it's very it's set up because when you come out, if you want to give an interview, you record it, how you felt, and then you have to fill in the whole experience in your own language. And these data will be later on added to the bank of the data we need to know where and how and what they did. The two run parallel together, but only upstairs for exhibition, and you can see it through I think it must be 20-30 meter gap square on the top. That you look down as the two escalators go, you can see everything from it. Something you can see that obviously because going through the interview and everything else.
Okay, thank you very much.
The workshops are done behind. We had the workshop done now with the production of gases. It was a full. We wanted 10 people there. I think they had 14, and it's done behind the the walls. The center is set up, beautifully done by the head of the Keshe Foundation Center. Amazing enough, a lot of you don't know. Again, the Keshe Foundation Center, the whole structure is run by another woman, and she's very good at it. She set up a beautiful, what we call workshop structure, and people really enjoyed it. We announced the next workshop to come up in the next few days, or if it is. And showing them the people enjoyed it. People attended the workshop with Herbert producing gases. We enjoyed it a lot because Herbert used to run the gas production at Keshe Foundation for sometimes a couple of years. He's one of the best to learn from. Any other question?
Well, I'm having a really hard time for probably the first time in 338 workshops where we don't have a list of questions. We don't have any outstanding hands up. No questions in the YouTube or the live stream. Somehow you've satisfied everyone, Mr. Kesh, for once here.
Oh, that's good. Maybe we're supposed to leave early today because I have to go somewhere, and it's 11 o'clock, half an hour early. Let's see what comes up. Let's see. I think the silence says itself. The knowledge seekers, after years of whatever patience or ridicule by their families or whatever, now they see the reality and they are satisfied with what is coming. It fulfills what we promised and fulfills what they were waiting for. And this is just the beginning, and let's see what happens when we start trying to transmute in the next couple of weeks. I'm not worried if we don't succeed. It means we haven't got it the right way. We have to get it the right way. We understand it. We've already done it. And let's see where we can take the human race. And let's see what is there for us in the future. Thank you very much, Rick. Call it a day. And the whole of the Keshe Foundation, especially the team in the labs and the what we call UNO Center, are hard at it to make it easy for everyone to enjoy it. Thank you very much, Rick. And don't forget, come in from all the nationalities you are from. We haven't had a single African yet. We haven't had a single Chinese yet. We haven't had anyone from India or Central Asia. We need people from Australia and the Philippines and that part of the world. And South Americans have already made their way. The Americans are in droves coming. And we have seen the Iranians already lined up to come. We need to fill up the encyclopedia of man. Some of you will come with a better experiences, others we fine-tune the systems. And maybe you want to come back to see the next experiment or next how it will be with the new structure. Thank you very much for today. Thank you very much for being there to support us to be able to deliver after so many years in the correct way.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Kesh, once again for the good news from Linz and for the teaching today. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for attending today's 438th Knowledge Seekers Workshop here on Thursday, June 23rd, 2022. We look forward to, Mr. Kesh, you might have a workshop on Monday coming up, possibly, or which would be the 5th space travel teachings. Is that correct, or will it be not announced until it's announced, let's say? In any case, we have the One Nation, One Planet, One Race for World Peace coming up on Tuesday. Just let me get the date for that. That'll be Tuesday, June 28th. And that starts at 4 p.m. Central European Time. And that's with members of the Universal Council. And folks are welcome to bring their problems and other issues of your country or language to the members of the Universal Council to help bring solutions. Okay, I think that's it for now. Thank you, everybody for attending today, and we'll see you in the next